Another week of tape to burn. The final lesson we must learn. We are the Crossroads Connection. Your undisputed sports perfection. It's where the game is won. The Crossroads Sports Connection. Yeah, connection. Starring Todd Brooks, Lincoln Hudgens, Chris Bailey, Stan Parker, Drew DiBiase, and Steve Edwards.
Welcome to Crossroads Sports Connection. I'm your host, Todd Brooks, and I'm joined tonight by Stan, Lincoln, Steve, and hopefully Chris Bailey. He just popped in, so I'm joined by Chris.
Yes, sir.
All right. How's everybody doing?
Peachy Keen, Jelly Bean.
Chris
All right.
put a shirt on.
Good dude.
Yeah, you're in the hot tub.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
shirt on.
that's why the video's off. I'm getting my shirt back on.
All right. Don't get your phone wet. You know, you might crash our show. But anyway, we got a great show lineup for you tonight. First, I want to share a behind-the-scenes story from Mercedes-Benz Stadium involving former North Carolina quarterback and basketball standout Ronald Curry. Then we'll break down the Atlanta Falcons preseason game against the Denver Broncos and take a closer look at the Falcons quarterback situation because it's not pretty. And then finally, we'll compare the AP Top 25 and the coaches' polls. We get ready for another college football season. So you guys ready? All right, let me tell you what happened the other night. Okay, I had another Matt Bryant type story. So, see, NFL, they now require credentialed coaches to use a facial recognition system before they enter the locker room. And I just happened to be assigned to the Denver Broncos locker room the other night. And so they just walk up to a scanner. You know, they just take their, you know, it's just like this. You know, it just recognizes their face. It recognized my face, too. But it wouldn't let me into the locker room. But it knows who I am. So you just walk up to your scanner. Your credentials are verified, and you're allowed inside. Pretty simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not for everybody. Not for former North Carolina quarterback Ronald Curry. He is the Denver Broncos wide receivers coach. And every time he would go into that thing, he would complain about it. Now, for those of you who don't know who Ronald Curry was, he was the quarterback for North Carolina in the late 90s. Great athlete. Played basketball for North Carolina as well. And he's got a decent personality. But he would always complain every time he was going to the locker room. He was like, if I started running from you right now, you wouldn't be able to catch me, which he's not wrong. I wouldn't be able to catch him.
Dang, dude.
And then he would laugh, and he would be like,
Well, yeah.
you wouldn't be able to stop me, brother. I'd just take off running after you, running from you. And I said, sure, I know you would. But every time that he had to stop, everybody, all these other coaches are just going and they stare at the camera for about 5 seconds and they go right into the locker room, no problem. But he says something every single time. He just did not like that scanner. And, coaches, it's funny. They're constantly moving in and out. They probably exit and enter that locker room probably 50 to 60 times during the course of a game. You know, it's funny. And they're meeting with the assistant coaches. They're carrying equipment. They're prepping for halftime. They're making adjustments. They're talking with trainers. And then they're moving throughout the stadium all day long. And because of that, they may use that scanner dozens of times during a game. So I can understand why they get tired of doing it, but still, it's just such a simple task. But by the end of the night, I know exactly how Ronald Curry felt about facial recognition technology. And it just became kind of a running joke for me. And back in 2006, I'm just going to rehash the Matt Bryant thing again because some people who maybe have not been listening to our show don't know. But I was working on the field during the Falcons game in 2006 against Tampa Bay, and Matt Bryant was kicking for Tampa Bay at the time. And, on the sideline, it's intense all the time. Everybody's focused on the game. Everybody's trying to get where they need to be. And then Matt Bryant just made it very clear how he felt about where I was standing on the field. And he pushed me out of the way. And he cussed at me. And, that's just – so I kind of felt like this wasn't nearly as dramatic as that. But it was still like I was like, man, I always have these incidents with these NFL athletes. So my question for you guys, do you think technology has made sports better Are we making things more complicated than they need to be?
Better.
I would agree. Why? Why do you think it's better?
The camera angles, and I mean, just now, there is an argument to be made of going down to the cellular level on whether or not his cleat touched the base before the tag was applied. Was the blade of grass painted white or green? Like, there is a point where you get to, like, all right, what are we doing here? But overall, it has made the game better. More access, better cameras, better angles. Always the sky cam on a rail. It's all kinds of stuff they're doing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the strike zone in baseball. I don't like the way that they do that. If the ball's
ABS.
It's ridiculous. I mean, get the ball all the way in or all the way out, but this little is in a quarter of an inch. That's just, to me, that's just overkill. To me.
I think you lose part of the charm and frustration of certain sports when you lose the human element. I think baseball's that way. Part of the fun is learning the umpire, learning what he's going to call.
Gonna be a big zone tonight. That kind of.
Yeah. And like in tennis, for example, I know we're talking football central, but centric, but like in tennis, when they used to have humans calling the lines, it would make McEnroe so mad, and he played better when he was mad, and you kind of tuned in to see the temper tantrums, and you loved it. Now, it's kind of been cleaned up, and yes, it's accurate, but it's not nearly as fun.
One thing I will say about the baseball thing, it just shows how good the umpires are, though. I mean, how keen their eyes, and I mean, obviously they're not a computer and they can't see everything, but usually those umpires are spot on. And so that little 2 or 3/4 of an inch, it takes out the human part of it, which, baseball to me, I love baseball, but but those umpires, it gives you an appreciation for how good they are.
But it also, too, gives you an appreciation of how bad certain ones are. You know the names of the bad ones. You don't know the names of the good ones. Angel Hernandez, Lincoln could probably talk for an hour on this, but, there's notorious bad umpires. Now you've got statistical – because like in basketball, they do like the last 2 minutes or whatever it is, report of how many blown calls there were. Now baseball's doing like a full report, like how many missed calls you had during the game, and you have like data points. But there's some hilariously bad nights for umpires, missing 14 balls and strikes. It's like, that's incredible. But again, I'm with you, Steve. Majority of the umpires are solid.
Well, there's another aspect to this too, is the accuracy of the calls based, that's better than the human calls, worth the time it takes and the waiting for the replays. That gets maddening.
Well, and it doesn't really take that much time.
It doesn't.
It's pretty instant.
Yeah,
football does.
Football, but football, I think it matters more than in baseball. But there's no way to make it, because it's not automatic in football. You still have to go back and look at the.
Well, there's
you go back and look at the replay.
Variables. Yeah, and then you're looking at where now, if this ruling gets reversed, then where does the ball go?
But they also seem to get a lot of the reviews wrong still, it seems.
You mean in baseball or
football?
Football.
Some of it's like judgment calls
that they have to have. It helps more in football because there's so many things going on. When it's just like in this baseball, it's just a ball strike thing.
Well, and I think too, I know, just like selfishly, it's very rare that I watch a full-length game anymore. I've got so much going on. I got 4 kids. It's just, I'll watch a highlight, but then you'll watch a highlight of this amazing play, but it's reviewed. So it's not like strike out and that's it. He struck out the side for the game. No, it's like, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like the flow of everything, kind of what he was saying, but like you watch a highlight of maybe an amazing football play and they have to come on as like, call has been overturned. It's a touchdown. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah. The baseball challenge adds almost a new layer of the game, though, because it's not like in football where you can just challenge it, and if you You can just keep challenging. The officials can challenge it over and over again, no matter what. There's no limit to official challenges.
Wow.
Baseball, you have
Official
two
challenges,
challenges. If you lose them, they're done. So you kind of got to
Well,
pick when to use them.
I think
If you lose them, they're done. Yeah, if you win it, you keep it.
yeah, but then also too, I think the refs like within a certain like parameters of the end of the half or their end of the half and end of the game, like I know in overtime, but like during that stretch, like the refs are more likely to like go to reviews. But like I feel like during the game, it's like, you know what, we're not going to officially review anything. You got to call it. Oh, that's a pivot
Yeah.
point, you know.
Stan,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it
problem.
depends on the situation.
Stan, you're going to have a problem this year, I believe.
Well, yeah, I have problems every year.
You just watch highlights. There will be no Falcon highlights.
Yeah, no. Evan calls them low lights.
Yeah.
True.
They may not even.
I
Yeah,
only
so
watch the Braves. Well, sorry, I only watch the Braves highlights if they win, so we're good.
That's about all
Don't
I
watch
watched
them
too.
tonight.
Just talking about bad umpires, though. Like the worst umpiring game I've ever seen in baseball was the
Marlins
1997
Braves.
NLCS. Yeah, against Levon Hernandez and Greg
So
Mathis.
bad.
It was so bad. It was
Yeah.
so
But
bad.
that's one of those things where it was so bad every time that you just kind of changed the way baseball was played for a day.
Yeah, I think that was a 2-1 game, and I think Levon Hernandez had 15 strikeouts, but none of them were valid. Like none of them.
No.
Yeah. Or a perfect game been foiled by a bad call at first.
Galarraga.
Yeah.
Jim West. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move into the Falcons game from Friday night. So we've got real football to talk about, so I do want to spend a good bit of time talking about this. Final score was Denver 27 and Atlanta 7. Now, before Falcons fans start panicking, let's remember something. It's the preseason. Results matter, but player evaluations matter more. That said, there were some things that really stood out. Denver controlled the game. The Broncos moved the football very effectively, and Atlanta struggled to generate much offensive momentum at all. And I really want to focus on the quarterback position. So Tua Tagovailoa got the start. He completed 3 of 5 passes for 22 yards. He lost a fumble. Obviously, it's just one preseason game, and I don't want to really draw any major conclusions on that, but it wasn't the kind of performance that really answers any questions. We saw Cooper Rush come into the game. His night didn't get much better. He threw 2 interceptions, including one that was returned for a touchdown, and that raises a much bigger question. What exactly is Atlanta's plan at quarterback? How comfortable should Falcons fans be right now? And how much stock should we put into this preseason game? Because let's be honest, we overreact in August. I know I do, but I also feel like this might be a reflection of who the Falcons actually are. Now, they did have some offensive line issues during that preseason game, but let's talk about the game and just kind of unpack it.
Did Jake Matthews leave the game as early?
Yeah.
Did that happen? Am I crazy? Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
That's huge, in my opinion. Again, there's only so much you can polish a turd. You know what they're going to have a quarterback. You pick one. I mean, Tua's, I don't know. It's a new system. You can make any excuses, but like losing like a fumble is on a snap is a shotgun snap too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
He just wasn't ready for it.
It just
I
wasn't
think
ready
that's
for it.
more of a. I think people are blowing that up because it's funny and people love to knock the Falcons, but that's just a communication thing in week 1. Like,
yeah,
that stuff's gonna happen for any team in the preseason. You got guys playing with a squad, like a group they've never played with. The communication's just not flawless yet, and like you said, it's a new system, so I don't think that's a huge deal. But he did just look bad, like
uncomfortable.
That one thing is blown out of the water, but the whole game was just bad.
Well, they had not be able. I mean, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. They weren't generating. They were not generating pass rush or stopping the run. They were getting gashed in a preseason game. Vanilla stock. They weren't pulling. There was some pull in place, but what I'm saying. It wasn't like schemed up hard. It was, no blitzes or anything. That's what is a little concerning. Is like these are supposed to be vanilla. We're just going to get out, do some X's and O's, and it's all technique at this point, and just not feeling comfortable. Zacchaeus looked deep, like he belonged, or Zacchaeus, not Zachariah Branch. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like he belonged. He was electric. He didn't break off any big plays, but I mean, he was in there like he belonged in the league. He wasn't too big for him, so that was good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to do well. I did think that it was interesting because I did listen to the post-game radio interview with the coach, and one thing he did say, he's like, we don't really even show much of our offense during these preseason games. He gave a percentage on the radio. He said, we're only showing about 5% of our offense. We don't show much more than that. And we only show about 5% of our defense. And, of course, the coordinator's not even there right now. So, that's kind of a thing too. But I mean, Chris, what do you think? I know you have a very heavy opinion about the Falcons.
Well, so I don't watch
boy.
preseason games. Like I feel like it's a temptation for something that's going. I'm watching late in the game of teams to see some of these guys that I watched in college that might play, and I want to see how they do. But I tend not to watch the pre out there. You don't know who they're going against. You don't know. You know the motivation level of the people trying to make a team, but you don't know the motivation of the guys who know they're on the team and they're just playing one or two series. They might want to not get hurt, and that's their most motivation. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to judge them. Like Lincoln said, people make too much of them, I think. And what would it have mean if the Falcons looked great? It wouldn't necessarily mean that they're going to do well either. On the other way. So I'm not too upset, honestly. Do they need a boost in the arm to see a win that doesn't matter? Not really, And even Tua, it's not only his first game of the year; it's his first game as a Falcon, so it's all new. So I'm not too worried, to be honest. I don't think we're going to be great because of the losses we've had physically on people, but I don't judge a lot from that game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think anybody should make that big of a deal out of a preseason game right now. I mean, there's been teams that have gone 3-0 during the preseason. They ended up winning 3 games during the regular season.
Yeah.
That happens. And then the opposites happen too, where they lost, they won 0 games and they ended up winning like 12 or 13 games. So it's going to happen on both ends.
Agreed.
Sure.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of listening to radio talk show hosts getting excited about coaches that win the podium. Like a new coach comes and they're like,
Yeah.
I love what he's saying. I love his philosophy. I'm like, it doesn't matter at all. What matters is if they win or not. And so just because you don't have anything to compare it against, you just buy into it too much. And I'm just not.
Right. No,
Agreed.
definitely. Steve, you haven't said much. What do you think?
Well, I'm listening. I didn't want to interrupt, but I think there are probably some better high school quarterbacks than Cooper Rush. I think we could probably those. I think Cooper Rush probably. We can probably agree that we probably need a better third string quarterback because he's terrible. That's what I think. He didn't look good at all.
I don't know the answer to this, and maybe Lincoln knows, maybe Todd Stan. I don't know. What are the chances that the Falcons would make a move and pick up maybe another third string quarterback that somebody else drops because they have, say, 4 decent ones versus us? Is that a possibility?
Not right now. Come the last week of preseason or before week 1, yes, but that if you did that, that guy wouldn't be able to probably take a snap for you for like 2 or 3 weeks learning the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible because there will be people that get cut, but NFL teams are kind of greedy if they know they have someone. I think that's why like Stetson's still in LA. That's why these like quarterbacks that shine in college are just being hoarded because they still have the talent, and the teams that had them do not want to let them go.
They're still an upside. And so it's
what if the NFL adopted the Crossroads Community Church fantasy football rule? You'd only have one quarterback, so the good ones were all spread around.
You'd have wide receivers warming up. It's like, no, he's a wide receiver. I would put him in at wideout. He's a backup tight end. We're just so happy we're going to have a backup tight end.
The kicker's the most valuable player.
Yeah.
Well, I always used to get frustrated, like back in the old NCAA football days, like when Tim Tebow was starting for Florida. What we usually had happen, like I would play against somebody, and they would put Percy Harvin in at quarterback, and you could not stop him. I mean, he ran like a 3.240 in that game. There's just no way you could stop him. No way.
Yeah. Like the video games.
Yeah, the video game, like the old one for like
Yeah, yeah,
PlayStation
yeah.
3. Yeah, like you could
Hmm.
not stop him. I would get so frustrated with the whole process of having like because I would play people online and somebody would put everybody did it. So I would be playing against somebody and every time they would pick Florida and they would put Percy Harvin in at quarterback instead of Tim Tebow and you could not stop Percy Harvin.
Everyone in the new game just plays with Ohio State.
Ohio State.
It's always Ohio State, and then everyone loves to play as South Carolina because they have Nick Harbor. He has 99 speed in the game. You have Dylan Stewart, who's a monster off the edge, and you have Lenore Sellers, who has 92 speed as a quarterback. So the amount of times they put Nick Harbor at running back and then they run triple option is just egregious.
I haven't played the newer NCAA football, but I know like when I was playing the computer and the one that came out 2 years ago, I didn't play the one from last year either, but I know that every time I played the computer and I was playing on the road, I could not win a road game. Like the crowd was just,
The
the
road's
whole
tough.
screen would shake. It just, it didn't make any sense to me.
It's tough. I've had my fair share of dynasties. I turned Maryland into a powerhouse. Kennesaw State won a few championships back in the day.
Did you move up the
It's
rank?
fun.
Did you start off at Kennesaw State and you moved up to Maryland and then you moved somewhere else?
No, I did Kennesaw State for an entire dynasty in the first game. I played 30 years at Kennesaw State. We won the Conference USA a few times, and we went to the Big 12. And man, I tell you what, Middle Tennessee, I think there was someone else in my dynasty. The computer at Middle Tennessee State developed with me. Like they were 90 overall by the time my dynasty ended. Someone was hacking my game and ruining my fun with Middle Tennessee State. But
Oh,
no, the one with Maryland, I started at Missouri State, and then I went to Pittsburgh, and then I got a head coaching job at Maryland, and I won 4 natties in 13 years, 15 years, something like that.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, 3 different lives.
I know. It's a lot of free time on your hands when you have 3 college classes and no job.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. Not the case anymore, but
That's
a lot
awesome.
of free time.
I used to be there. Well, let's go ahead and jump into college football since I think we're done talking about the Falcons. I don't think there's really much to talk about. So the AP poll came out this week. The coaches poll's been out for a couple weeks, and it looks real similar to the coaches poll. Here's the AP top 5. Number 1 is Ohio State. Number 2 is Oregon. Number 3 is Georgia. Number 4 is Notre Dame. And number 5 is Texas. So Texas and Notre Dame flip-flopped in that poll, I believe. And when you compare the AP poll with the coaches poll, there aren't a lot of dramatic differences for the most part. So I've got a couple of questions to ask here. Should Georgia be ranked higher? Is Ohio State the clear favorite? I don't think they are, but I want to know what you guys think. Is Texas finally ready to take the next step with Arch Manning? And then what about some of the teams that are further down the poll, like Ole Miss and Oklahoma? What are we thinking about those teams?
I think for Georgia's psyche, I think we're where they need to be.
Well, I agree because Kirby doesn't want them ranked number 1. Kirby
No.
wants them ranked lower. He wants to motivate them.
Yeah, he let the dogs hunt. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Lincoln.
right.
Here, I
Lincoln,
find this funny. I've been listening to a little bit of radio this week, and apparently a bunch of Indiana fans are incensed that they were not higher than they are at 6, and they're all mad. I find that hilarious.
Yeah, so I think Indiana actually fell in the AP poll. I think they were 7. They were 6 in the coaches
Oh, they-
poll. Yeah, I think. Then
And
the
they're mad
Miami
about
flip.
it.
Yeah.
Indiana is still 6
Oh, they're
in
still
the
6.
AP poll.
Okay. So
Yeah,
they did not
that's
flip.
what I'm looking at now is the entire AP poll.
What about Ole Miss? They actually moved up a spot, didn't they? They moved up to number 9 in the AP poll. I think they were
Yeah,
ranked
they're
10th
9.
in the coaches poll. I mean, I just don't see Ole Miss being a top 10 team this year. It's just hard for me to fathom that.
I think, yeah. I think the talent is not all gone. You still have Chambliss and you have Kewan Lacey, but I mean, you lost. I mean, let's just face it, a top 4, 5 coach in the college football landscape. So you can't get better losing a top 5 coach. You can't do that
No.
because Pete Golding won a game, but Lane Kiffin got them to the playoff.
Yeah, it was
So-
Lane Kiffin's roster, and not to mention the fact they've also lost Charlie Weiss Jr. too. That's another
Correct, yeah.
factor there. So everybody's at LSU now. LSU is ranked outside the top 10.
Yeah, they are 2 spots lower than Ole Miss. They're 11.
Yeah, I think I would probably flip flop those two teams, but I think Ole Miss is probably more like they should be like 14 or 15, maybe preseason. I wouldn't.
I take no. I've said this before. I take no heed into rankings until week 2
No, I agree because you don't
because you
play.
have like we've seen these everything we're basing off is projections of what last year's team did. Like we haven't seen this like I think it was Lawson Lucky said it. Talk about the hype that Georgia has. It was like the 2026 Georgia team has won nothing. We've done nothing.
Yeah.
Every team has done nothing. So I don't think there should be rankings until the second week. And I think it should be you should take every past season out of your mind. Like there should not be because like last year when Notre Dame lost 2 straight games, if they weren't ranked as high as they were preseason poll, they would have been unranked. Even if it was 2 good losses. 0-2 teams don't stay ranked. I don't think you should be able to be ranked if you don't have a win. I don't care who you are. Even if the number 1 team loses week 1, then they're not the number 1 team anymore. Because there's 25 other teams that have won a game.
We've talked about it before on the podcast. It's like I think they should just eliminate preseason ranking.
Yeah, there's no point.
I don't think there's. But and now the talk. I mean, it gets everybody talking, and it gives more juice to week 1. But I mean, if it's Georgia Clemson week,
I mean,
1,
look at that LSU Clemson game last year. It was a top 10 battle. And then they both finished unranked. So like you can have good games without a number beside a team's name. I don't think people realize that.
It's totally for the talking heads. That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
The newspapers or now the magazines or the websites. That's why. I mean,
and
therefore they're not going to stop it.
I mean, it works. We're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah, it works for us too.
9:00 on a Tuesday.
What about Ohio State as number 1? I have an opinion on because me and Stan talked about this in week 1 of the podcast. And Ohio State, who's their offensive coordinator? It's Arthur Smith, and he's Mr. I want to run the ball every play. I mean, I just don't see Ohio State being an explosive offense. I mean, maybe Arthur Smith will be different in college. Maybe that offense.
I think he has to be. Well, one, they have Bo Jackson. It's not the Bo Jackson, but their running back, Bo Jackson, is very good. He was a freshman last year. He's returning. He's very good. They have the best wideout, not arguably. Jeremiah Smith's the best wideout in college football. They have a top 3 quarterback in the conference in Julian Sayin, who's only going to get older and develop more as a sophomore. I don't know. Ohio State, they're the number 1 team to me preseason. If you want to go into that, if you want to project and everything, I think they're going to get older and they're going to get better. The defense to me would be the part of Ohio State that I need to see first. The offense has all like the shiny names to it. I mean, Arthur Smith is bad. It's just like historically play calling, but yeah.
Can I say something about Ohio State? I heard a radio announcer today. They were talking about Ohio State's offense, and they were talking about Jeremiah Smith and how he was a preseason Heisman favorite. And whoever was talking about it finished his paragraph or whatever he was saying with these words. He said, "And Arthur Smith is going to find a way to get him the ball."
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. That's what college football is, though. Like you have these guys that it usually happens at lower schools. You have these guys that just get fed. That guy, I'm gonna forget his name. He won the Triple Crown 2 years ago at San Jose State. It was Nick Nash at San Jose State. He won the Triple Crown because he was the best player on the field, and they just threw him the ball 30 times a game, and he came down with all of it. So like, didn't the Falcons
pick him up as a free agent?
I don't know if he's still on y'all's team, but y'all had him last year. I think he was on the practice squad.
They never gave him a chance.
But like, if you have a weapon like that, abuse it. It's like putting Percy Harvin at quarterback. Like, if you have that at your exposure, just use it and abuse it until someone stops you.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what about Texas and Arch Manning? Do we see that they might have? Are we seeing they might have a chance to maybe win it this year? Maybe Arch Manning improves a lot as a quarterback. He wasn't very good last year.
That's what I'm saying. Has he shown any?
Yes.
Anything? I mean, again, I'm not a purist, so like, he just hasn't razzled and dazzled me in the past.
He
So what do
has
we think is going to be different? Go ahead, Lincoln.
weeks 1 through I'd say 6 last year were bad for Arch Manning. They had that tight game with Mississippi State. He looked bad on the road. Even Kentucky, he looked bad on the road everywhere they went. And then they played, I forget who they played a week before us, and he looked good. And then he struggled against us, but Texas always does. Like that's a game where even if the best quarterback in the country came in and struggled in, you wouldn't think much about it because it's at night, it's in Athens, it's a top 5 matchup. It is what it is. But he played so good down the stretch. Like his splits, like before week 8, I think is when it turned around until the end of the year is insane. He started to develop. He looked more confident. That's the big thing. The skill was always like we saw the skill in high school. Like the talent, like the raw talent is there, but he started to get confident is what happened. So I think he's going to be fine for this next year. It's just going to be how does the whole team gel together? Because I think he is one of the most talented quarterbacks. He just needs to have the confidence. He doesn't have any like moxie or swagger that a guy that's a 5-star with a last name Manning that had everything given to him should have. Like if he had half the attitude that Pavia had and he had the confidence like that, he would have won a Heisman already.
Yeah, I mean, I figure a year in the system. He's had a year under his belt. He's been in the system for a while anyway, but then he's had a year of starting experience. I feel like that should help him improve on his game a lot. And just like you said, the end of the year was a lot better for him than the beginning of the year was.
Lincoln brought up Pavia. What do we think Vanderbilt's going to be with Jared Curtis?
I think Vanderbilt's still going to be good. I mean, they're spending money.
I think they've left the cellar of the. I think they've permanently left.
Yeah.
That in the past. I think they're too good to be like that again for a little bit at least. Things could college football can flip on its head at any time. But the talent, they have talent. I mean, Jared Curtis coming to Athens, I'm going to try my hardest to go to that game when Vanderbilt comes to town. They'll find a way to beat Auburn and they'll do something. They'll beat someone they shouldn't.
What do you expect from Curtis? Because, I mean, he's a true freshman. He's on a team that, yeah, they're good, but they're not like the cream of the crop of the SEC or anything. And it's hard to break in. It's hard to break in a new quarterback. And I don't know. I'm just curious, like, how will it go for them? I don't know. I like Clark Lee.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at their schedule in a little bit more detail. I mean, the good thing about Vanderbilt this year in the SEC is that a lot of teams are breaking in new coaches, new players. And so it might be a good year to actually have that be the case where you're breaking in a new quarterback and a new coaching staff for some of these other teams. Like Florida's got a new coaching staff. So, a lot of it's like how many teams have a new coaching staff? There's a lot. I mean, LSU's got a new coaching staff. Ole Miss has got a new one. Arkansas, Florida. Who am I leaving out? I'm leaving out somebody.
What's the question? New coaches?
Yeah, we have new coaching staffs all over the SEC this year.
So Arkansas has Ryan Silverfield.
Yep.
John Summerall went to Florida. Auburn has Golish. Lane Kiffin, if you want to count that. Pete Golding. Like it's a new coach, but like they've been in the SEC before, but they just swap. I think that's it. Kentucky has a new coach.
Yeah, they do. And let me ask you this. I mean, you said that Vanderbilt, you think they're permanently out of the cellar. Do we know of any SEC teams that are maybe more permanently in the cellar, though?
Arkansas.
Yep. I'd say Mississippi State is probably down
Mississippi State is getting out of it. I love Kamario Taylor. I love watching. I just looked at Vanderbilt's schedule, by the way. I think they go 6-6, 7-5. I think they can beat Auburn. I don't think very highly of Auburn. I like what they have there, but it's a rental roster. Vanderbilt has beaten Auburn the last 3 years, even when they were bad. So they just have their number. It's one of those things. They'll lose to Georgia. They'll lose to Ole Miss. They'll beat Arkansas. They'll beat Kentucky. They'll beat Mississippi State. They'll lose to Bama, Florida, and Tennessee. But they'll beat Austin Peay and Delaware out of conference. But I think they lose to NC State.
All right, if that happens, and they're 3-6, 3-7.
It'll be in the conference
5 and 7. What did you say? 5 and 7, 6-6, something like that.
The 6-6, 7-5. I don't think they go under 500. I think 500 is the bare minimum.
Similar to our Florida schedule last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
That NC State Vanderbilt game, I can't wait to watch it.
I love NC State's quarterback.
Yes, of course, it's my brother.
Now, is that an opening week game?
Looks just
That's week 3. They open up with
Week 3,
Austin
okay.
P and then Delaware.
Steve, what are you thinking about everything?
I'm just listening.
Steve, I want you talking, buddy. I want you talking.
I want Florida to kind of move down into the cellar. That seems like the way they're going. I don't think Missouri. I think they may be slipping down.
Missouri's slipping. They got real high for a little bit.
Weren't they ranked 25th?
Yeah, they're ranked 25th in both polls.
Yeah,
they're ranked 25th
yeah, they're
in
ranked
coaches
this
and
year.
the AP.
They're ranked. But like in 2022, didn't they beat Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl?
Yeah, they just seem like they're not getting any better. I mean, they're
not
doing well there for a while. They were giving us a hard time.
They have the best running back in the country, and I don't think people really. I mean, they have the best running back in the country, but he's not playing. So I don't know what to think about them if he can't play.
The only way they do really well in the SEC is if the SEC is down. Just like when they joined it, the ACC East was down, and they won the East, but the East was so down, and it was ridiculous. But they
won the East
because
back-to-back.
they're not an SEC team, and they're never going to do good. It's like Nebraska's never going to be good in Big Ten because they don't belong there.
Right.
Yeah, they just don't fit.
I feel like.
I think Missouri plays better than half the SEC right now, I would say.
Who are the 5 worst SEC teams?
Kentucky, South Carolina on any given week, Arkansas. You'd rather have South Carolina.
I don't think South Carolina. I mean, look, team wise,
Beamer
it seems
Ball,
like to
is
me
he still
South
there?
Carolina is good.
Yeah, he's still there.
He's still there. South Carolina to me is good like every other year. Like they're going to have a good season, then they're going to be very average, or they're going to have 5 and 7 or whatever.
Yeah, but their good season is like the Citrus Bowl is like the difference. So,
well, brother, they almost made the playoffs a couple of years ago. Like they were right there in the thick of things. They beat Clemson. Well, Clemson beat them late, and they were right there in the thick of things. They could have easily been in the playoffs that year.
Is anybody yet?
Huh?
Kentucky? I said Kentucky yet?
Yeah, Kentucky.
No, Kentucky, Arkansas. I mean, South Carolina could be good, but they could also be just horrible again. It's like that's the thing. Mississippi State is still worse than Missouri. I like Mississippi State. They're still worse. Florida, I think, is still worse
Attaboy.
than Missouri right now.
I don't believe that's true.
Well, you don't think that's true?
I don't either. If you listen, David Pollock is a true believer in the new coach that's over at Florida.
John Summerall's legit.
He thinks he's going to be the next big thing in the
Arkansas.
SEC, and I believe what he says.
They have too many resources to stay down if they
To
get
be
a good
bad.
coach, which scares you.
Have y'all seen Summerall's comments about Florida's like facility and stuff when he got there?
No,
I haven't seen it.
He's like, I brought my strength and conditioning coach from Tulane over because there's no reason a D1 football team should look like that. And then he ripped apart like the weight room. He was like, we have a 120-yard strip of turf in our weight room, and we have a football field 30 yards away. So he took that up and added more weights. And so this is a weight room, not a track field.
This is getting off track a little bit, but I did want to go back to the Falcons game because I forgot to mention this with Sean Payton the other night. Did you hear his comment at the end of the game? He still has some New Orleans Saints in him, too. He said a lot of those empty seats were disguised as fans at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He took a shot.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a skip carry line.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's it was dressed like a seat night. That's my favorite line.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Steve Spurrier a little bit, just the shot he would take.
Coach.
They're cut from the same cloth.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree about Kentucky being on the bottom. I mean, Kentucky is not spending any money. They've had a hard time, I think, with NIL, even in basketball. I mean, they're spending a lot on their basketball roster, but other teams are still outspending them even in basketball, and that's their sport.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've only got like a minute to go, so I'm going to go ahead and close this up here. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Crossroads Sports Connection. Whether you're cheering for the Georgia Bulldogs, the Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, or another team somewhere across the country, we appreciate you spending part of your week with us. Sports have always had a way of bringing people together that create conversations, build communities, and give us something to share with family, friends, and our church community. We hope you'll continue to be part of that community with us. You can follow the Crossroads Sports Connection on Facebook and on Spotify, where new episodes are released every week. Leave us a comment, share the show with a friend, and let us know what topics you'd like us to discuss in future episodes. For all of us here at Crossroads Sports Connection, thank you for listening. Enjoy the games this week, and may God bless you and your family. We'll see you next time on Crossroads Sports Connection.